Hello everyone, my name is June Simpson and today is the 1 year anniversary of this channel. Absolutely incredible how we've made it a year. So in honour of our 1 year anniversary, today I want to review what I personally think is the greatest album of all time. Human Equals Garbage by Dystopia. Dystopia is mainly quite an underground band, although they are pretty popular in the crust punk genre. Dystopia is in my top 5 bands of all time, and all 3 of their albums are just absolutely incredible. All of them are absolute masterpieces, but this is genuinely the best album ever made in my opinion. It came out 30 years ago in 1994, and what better time to review my favourite album of all time than our 1 year anniversary. To start off, I absolutely love the album cover. It's quite simplistic. It's a bunch of garbage with a hand in it. Human equals garbage. But it's just so interesting the more you look into it, and I absolutely love the back cover. It really shows off the album's sort of themes of like destroying the ecosystem and whatnot. And here we get to the discs. They're see-through discs, which are absolutely amazing. They made see-through discs on all their albums, obviously the represses, which I just got. This one came out 10 years ago in 2014. Can't remember when the other ones came out. But they all have clear discs, and they're all just so amazing. And also, another amazing thing about them, they all come with booklets. They show little pictures while describing the song lyrics. It's just absolutely amazing. And I love this one of Ignorance of Pride. They're all just so interesting to look at. It's just absolutely incredible. I love this one for Green Destroyed, The Chokes on Us. And also this one for, I believe, Ruptured Silence. Yes. And here's 2 of them, and here's the last one. I love the spiral text on it. So, let's get to the track list. Side A has Stress Builds Character and Hands That Mold. Side B has Sanctity, Ignorance of Pride, and Love Hate. Side C, first side on disc 2 obviously, has The Middle, Slave Chains, Ruptured Silence, and Green Destroyed. And side D has Broken Shell, Weed of Wisdom, and Sleep. This was the first album they ever made, and sad that they only ever had 3 albums before they broke up, but they're absolutely incredible, and I just wish they stayed around longer. So, let's get on to the review. We start the album with Stress Builds Character. This is one of the most grimy, depressing, angry songs I've ever heard, and that could be said about the entire album. It's just so sludgy and grimy, and it sounds like a breakdown. It really does, especially at the beginning with the drummer Dino just screaming out all the lyrics in his high-pitched voice. It's absolutely incredible. And then we get to the fast bit, which is the second half of the song, and it just absolutely blew me away when I heard it. It's absolutely perfect. This album has some of the best lyrics of all time. It's like, I'm at a loss for words on how just perfect this album is. You just need to hear it in order to believe just exactly what I'm trying to express. It's perfect. Next track is track 2 and the last song on side A, Hands That Mold. This is more of that really slow sort of stuff at the beginning of Stress Builds Character, but this time it's throughout the whole song. It's just absolutely amazing. I believe it's about ruining the environment, and the lyrics are just absolutely amazing. It's all perfect. Like, skies they bleed, infecting the land, oceans they vomit onto the sand. Dino is genuinely one of the best drummers and singers of all time. As I've just mentioned, he sings while he plays the drums, which is really impressive, especially if you see some live performances. I might post a copy of their VHS of a bunch of live performances. This was actually posted by my favourite content creator of all time, Killbot and Gorgor Attack. I'll link that in the description. And has that mode, right? It's just so dark and gloomy. It's perfect. I can't express how just good it is. And with that, we end side A. Side B opens up with one of their darker songs, Sanctity. This has samples of documentaries about things like death and suicide, which are some topics that they go into quite a lot, especially on their second album, The Aftermath. Speaking of The Aftermath, it's hard to choose whether my favourite Dystopia album is this or The Aftermath. Although, right now, it's easily this. As I've said before, best album of all time in my opinion. Anyway, Sanctity has some of my favourite it's so just angry sounding and so depressing, but that's what I love about Dystopia. That's the whole point of the band. Is to make you feel the actual effects of real world problems and express them musically. It's absolutely perfect. And the next track is Ignorance of Pride. The vinyl of this actually opens up with a sample, can't remember what it is, but it's really cool. You won't actually find the sample on things such as Spotify, which is quite weird. Anyway, Ignorance of Pride, I believe, is just about death. And it also has one of my favourite guitar riffs of all time near the middle. It's just so heavy and just so perfect. It's brilliant. They're absolute geniuses to come up with this, especially Dino, how he can drum and sing at the same time, which I've mentioned before. Anyway, Ignorance of Pride is definitely a highlight of the album. And the final track on side B and disc 1 is Love Hate. This song is just full of samples. I believe only the chorus is actually musical and actually has singing in it. Also on the vinyl edition, this Love Hate actually starts off with a sample from Grease, which is really cool. I actually prefer this version than the Spotify version without it. Love Hate has always been one of my favourite songs of the album and one of my favourite songs of all time. It's so heavy and just... I keep repeating the same points, but that's exactly what this album is. It's dark, brooding, heavy, depressing, dark. It's so sludgy and grimy. I'm genuinely at a loss for words on how perfect this album is. And with that, we end side B and disc 1. We now start disc 2 with side C. We start off with The Middle. This is just a minute long instrumental. This is a quieter track, but it's still really dark sounding and heavy. Not a lot to talk about with this one. Next track is Slave Chains. This has one of my favourite bass openings of all time. I love the bass in Dystopia songs, it's just so powerful. And this, Slave Chains, is an absolutely incredible song. Mainly for the bass, that's an absolute highlight of the album. They're all absolutely incredible players. The next track is Ruptured Silence. This was the first Dystopia song I ever heard, and I immediately fell in love with them. This is just pure Dystopia. It's so... I might love it even more just because it was the first one I ever heard by them, but that doesn't take away how amazing it is. And the last track on side C is Green Destroyed. This is one of my favourite tracks on the album, especially as I was talking about the picture. That's absolutely amazing. I think you can get on like patches and pins and t-shirts and stuff. I've got to get one of them. Anyway, Green Destroyed is such a powerful song. It's so just heavy and just mad. It's awesome. It's amazing. I can't just express enough how perfect this album is. With that, we end side C. Side D opens up with Broken Shell. This is a song that was actually removed from the CD. I'm not sure why, but still. Broken Shell is one of my favourite songs on the album. It's quite underrated as the album goes, but still really amazing. So is every song on the album. It's just pure, absolute sludgy brilliance for all of it. Next track is Weed of Wisdom. This song starts off with a sample of Cheech and Chong, which I find quite clever. Obviously, this is about weed, and it's always been one of my favourites as well. Just an amazing song. I like the picture to go along with it as well. It's really good. And the final track is Sleep. This is an amazing final track. It starts off with a really heavy riff, and the whole song's pretty fast and heavy as the album goes. However, like halfway through the song, they get to a quite slow part where they actually have some clean vocals for a change, which I find really cool. It's really different for Dystopia to have clean singing vocals. And with that, the album ends. Overall, I highly recommend this album. In my opinion, it is the greatest album ever made. My three favourite songs from the album are Ignorance of Pride, Love Hate, and Slave Chains. Thanks so much for watching. Happy 1 year anniversary, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.